I don't think Maxx C needs any introduction, and I don't think we need an introduction into the subject of should Maxx C be banned or should Maxx C not be banned? Where is Necro's trap card? Where is Chamber Dragon form? Will my father return from the store? These are not important or relevant questions today, but what is important is that you subscribe to quell my emotional insecurities. Should Maxx C be banned is not the question of today's video. So if I see one anime profile picture in the comment section down below chatting, explaining their point of view and belief and argument as to why Maxx C should or shouldn't be banned, I will literally rebrand into a Hello Kitty Let's Play channel. And no one asked for furry Farfa. The question we're talking about today is if Maxx C was to be errata'd, meaning changed and the text altered and updated, what would it have to say? For the haters, what would the card need to say in order for you to accept it? And for the Maxx C enjoyers, what would you need to compromise on? If the Master Duel devs really want to keep Maxx C in the game, they could at least errata the text to balance it. There's dozens of ways to fix the bug. Post your ideas below to inspire the team. Well, since you asked, I will share to you my top 10 suggestions for errataing Maxx C. Table 500 is in just over a week. We hold this a couple times a year, and it's not like the bottom table. This one is a bit more about the flashy, crazy combos. Pause the video, read the instructions, and I'll see you there. Suggestion 1. Maxx C now has a cap for the total amount of cards drawn. Let's say 3 total, maybe 2. 3? Habibi wallah, I give you good price. Inshallah you accept this, Yahwa. The problem is that even the fair decks in Yugioh sometimes have to special summon a bunch of times, like 10 times, just to do like a basic combo. Look at Salmon Grey. That card ends on what? A negate and maybe a rank 4 for like literally like 15 special summons. I receive 1 negate. You receive 10 cards. This has been the worst trade deal in the history of trade deals, perhaps ever. This is a solid suggestion. I like the idea of a cap, but it's pretty vanilla and quite boring, so I think we can spice this up a bit. I give this a solid 7 out of 10. Suggestion number 2. Maxx C draws only for special summons from the extra deck. Generally, whenever you're playing a deck that special summons a lot, sometimes they aren't really doing anything completely unfair. It's only when they start pissing links and random synchros that don't belong to the archetype, Borrowload Savage Dragon, that things become really ridiculous. All these generic Omni negates like Apollo Baron, Disruption like Mask, cards that inherently don't really deserve to be banned, although that's another potential subject all in and of itself. But this is generally where the problematic special summons are from. Personally, this is one of my favorite erratas and suggestions, and I think if I had to pick an errata, obviously I'd rather the card be banned, if I had to pick an errata, well, this wouldn't be it. Solid 9 out of 10 IGN Game of the Year though, baby. Suggestion number 3. Maxx C now works like Nibiru, in the sense that it now triggers on summon number 5 or whatever other arbitrary number you want to attach to this, and then you get to draw 2 or 3 cards. 2.5? We just ripped the top card off the top of the deck in half and hope you shuffled well. This one's okay. It's above average, but it's got problems. 6 out of 10. Suggestion number 4. You cannot activate any other cards on the turn you activate Maxx C. One of the problems that Maxx C is a hand trap that can then draw you more hand traps, or board breakers, or engine pieces. It's a solid one, but I don't think it fixes all of the issues, so 6.5 out of 10. Suggestion number 5. Maxx C now draws cards, but in the end phase returns cards from your hand back into the deck equal to the number of cards you drew. Further to suggestion 1, where a singular negate combo can land you something like 20 special summons, that's not really a fair trade, because now you have 27 cards, or 26. 26 is the math, right? So with this suggestion, Maxx C doesn't let you out-advantage your opponent, but you do get the added benefit of basically crafting your entire hand to perfection. Now, I still think this is pretty unfair and doesn't really take any deck building for this card to be played. You're almost always going to run this, and for that reason, I think this is a below average 4 out of 10. Suggestion number 6. Maxx C is now no longer a quick effect, but instead it triggers on the special summon of a monster. So rather than pre-dropping it or chaining it to an effective special summon, this now resolves on the summon of a monster, and even so, still does not yet get you your first draw. So there's a little bit of leeway for your opponent to play around with this. Now, depending on the deck, this doesn't necessarily give you a lot of cards if you play it right. But I'm still not a fan of this one because it's way too deck dependent and way too archetype based. This is a 3 out of 10. Suggestion number 7. If Maxx C does not draw any cards this turn, discard your entire hand, or banish it face down, or whatever. So if this Errata of Maxx C works in the same way the last suggestion did, in that it activates or begins to start drawing later after a summon has been successfully special summoned, then this could maybe work. Otherwise, there's no downside here. You're always just going to hold until you chain it to an effect. So in its current form, not good, but I think there's some definite potential with playing around with the whole kiss curse aspect of it. Big potential on this suggestion, so I'm going to give it a solid just 5 out of 10. Suggestion number 8. Maxx C draws are now optional for every card you draw, but for every single card you do draw, your opponent now gets an extra normal summon during their next turn. So if I draw 3 cards with Maxx C, you get 4 normal summons next turn. Yeah, someone actually suggested this. This is so arbitrary and convoluted, and why? 2 out of 10. Suggestion number 9. You cannot activate Maxx C while you control any cards. Maxx C is at its absolute most degenerate when it is activated after dropping it in response to fully successfully completing your combo. Now, not only do you need to play through my, 3 disruptions, you have to deal with me potentially drawing the entire entourage of hand traps I side decked, or a complete full hand to be able to break your board on the return turn. Better kill me! Now, with this Errata, it basically just says you can only use this going second, which is when Maxx C is the most fair, tolerable, acceptable, submissive, and breathe. This one is my absolute favorite, and if I had to pick an Errata, this would be the one for me. 9 out of 10. And finally, the bonus suggestion. Suggestion number 10. Maxx C now says that you have to subscribe to this YouTube channel, potentially become a Patreon member, follow me on Twitch and Twitter and all of my various forms of social media, leave a comment and a like down below, and then during the end phase, you draw some cards. Trade offer, I will show your name in every video. Thank you everyone for watching. Leave your thoughts down below, and until next time, adios.